Welcome and hello and welcome. Happy weekend, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Welcome, hello and welcome. I've gotten just an extensive amount of comments criticizing me for the abrupt and shortened, truncated nature of my greetings and salutations. And I'd like to offer you guys a wholehearted apology for that. Say, lo siento, my bad, folks. From now on, we're going to go with the full, 8-minute obnoxious intro where we just say, welcome and hello and welcome. And you get a front row seat to my shiny receding hairline that is so prominent on this broadcast. Let me say welcome and hello and welcome, and just welcome you warmly. Guys, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, let's Poco. Of course, I want to talk about SMCI. I know I keep talking about this stock till I'm blue in the face, or pale in the face, or bald in the head, or whatever you want to say. But there's a reason for that, guys. There's a method behind the madness. There is sort of a system behind the fatness, if you will. Of course, it's the Tebedaki method. The only trading system created for portly and plus-size gentlemen, traders of a certain proportion, namely above 20 stone. I always like to say my weight in stone because it sounds more dignified, even metric, because it's just so much lower. Or I state my weight on the gravity of the moon. Anyway, guys, welcome and hello and welcome. Enough of my idiotic jokes. I'm going to make this one actually quick. I know I always say that, but I just got a ton of stuff to do. It's a beautiful day outside, and I'm working in the office. Oh my God, poor me. Woe is me. But why am I talking about this stock so much? Because it's a scam. Because it's a shakedown. Yes, there are accounting issues. Yes, there are real issues. But it doesn't make the company worthless, and it doesn't make their revenues fake. And the fact that they sell to companies owned by the executives' brothers. And so the bottom line is the revenues are real, the sales are real, and this thing is absurdly undervalued. And I'm just going to try to show you what institutions are doing here. So take a look, first off, institutional ownership. Just let it sink in. Institutional ownership for SMCI. Some of this was split adjusted. Some of it's not split adjusted, but just look at the graph. I mean, this was the all-time high institutional ownership. They sold the stock off completely. And then filings for Q4 are going to show institutions just bought the living hell out of the stock. Look at the institutional ownership. We can go see it back over here. The masters of the universe own this whole company. So the biggest owners are the actual executives themselves, which is a great sign. And then Vanguard, BlackRock. Look at our old buddies, Susquehanna up here, who own 5% of the stock. What are they doing at the same? And this is not everything's a conspiracy, but in November they downgraded the stock from $32.50 to $15 in a sell. Old Mehdi Husseini, I think he's on a vacation from CNN or whatever. No, that's a different guy. That's Mahdi. I don't know. I can't pronounce everybody's name. I apologize. Once again, I'm so sorry. But so he downgraded sell, went from $32.50 to $15. As a price target. And at the same time, Susquehanna Securities is, taking a massive new position in the stock. So read into that what you will in terms of the honor among thieves that are the class of professional prognosticators, truth sayers, sleuths, whatever these words are, the Nostradamuses. This is all a scam, guys. It's all a scam. They're buying all the shares. Look at the volume, okay? All of this is done in Q4. Look at where Q4, look at this, guys. Green positions are new positions. Red positions they sell out of. This is, in order of date. So this is filings from yesterday on down. I mean, look at these positions. Principal Financial with new 625,000 share position. I mean, look at all this green in these Q4 filings, folks. There is almost no red. And then when you start to look at these white, these are because of the split adjustment. These aren't actually 900%. This is because they did a stock split. But the point is, guys, nobody's selling. And Sumitomo, huge new positions in the stock. over and over again through different, arms of their company. So, these filings for Q4 start down here, beginning of January. Just look at these filings, guys. And this starts here, right here. January 3rd is the first filing date. I assume that was a Monday. And you just see nothing but institutions buying this stock while they say the world is ending. What do you know? What do you know? Shock of all shocks. They're saying one thing and doing another. So look at where the volume is, guys, in Q4. That's where these fight. Do you think they're buying here? No. Look at October. Look at these volume indicators down. Where do you see massive volume come in? The last day of the month when the stock just falls off a cliff. Highest volume is right here at the lows. And you think, is retail buying? No, retail are weak, dumb assholes. You guys know that. Look in a mirror. You're so stupid. You should have taken the fish. But anyway, be that as it may, we're weak, we're dumb, we're stupid, we're poor, we don't, make good judgments, we scare small children, we're not photogenic, we're not everyone's cup of tea. But anyway, guys, so this is what market makers do. They get returners to buy the stock at $120, sell the stock at $18. Market makers don't have fear. Algorithms don't have fear. They don't have a conscience. They see a stock that's worth, 80 or 100 or 120 or 150, and they see the stock and they push the stock to 18 and they buy the stock. And you sell the stock, or we sell the stock, or collectively retail sells the stock. Because, what else is going on here? I mean, it depends what sources you look at, but institutional ownership, I think this is before, was 52%. Insider ownership, they're saying 12. It just depends, what source you actually take a look at. But then on top of that, look at the shares on loan. It's all the way up to 150 million. On Friday, they borrowed another 136,000. On Thursday, they borrowed another 5 million. Cost to borrow running in the negative because they're loaning the shares to themselves. They already own all the float. Doesn't cost them anything to loan, short, control the price, keep it low, because they don't want it to run up on. They want to time this thing absolutely perfectly. Wash you turds out at the bottom. Sell you turds a bunch of short-dated calls in the meantime, because they know what's going to, you think it's, I don't know if you think this is all like a bunch of, Boy Scouts and, people with altruistic good intentions. That's not what builds these mansions in Connecticut, folks. That's not what buys these, $50 million penthouses in Miami for these hedge fund guys. They don't play it straight up and see if they control the whole market, and they take your money. Because you sell the dip and you smell the rip. And as God is my witness, they're going to run this thing up. It's the same guys who own Sofi. It's the same guys who own Palantir, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Top 3 owners. These are the biggest companies in the world. And with SMCI, even bigger than them are the insiders. They own the stock themselves. There was just a big insider buy the other day, I think, by the new CFO or chief accounting officer, whatever it was. I believe he's Korean. His name sounded Korean. Shocker. No, guys. I mean, of course he's Korean. Why wouldn't he be? Nothing wrong with that. I love Koreans. I have a guy who comments here all the time. Not on this, I think on my Sofi videos. He comments in Korean. I don't speak Korean. I would love to know your name, friend. Anyway, guys. Welcome and hello and welcome. It is, of course, Un Poco Mas, the show where even on the weekend, we're trying to give you just a little bit more. A lot of work this week, guys. I was just aging poorly and in a bad mood. Huge Karen this week. Didn't do a lot of videos, but everybody's, very concerned about everything. These tariffs and stuff. I don't know, guys. If you told me you're going to combat fentanyl trafficking and human smuggling with a 25% tariff on Canada, you'd have to just slap me across the face with a, I don't know what. It's so nonsensical in the world of like economics, geopolitics, allegiances. it's just baffling. Like Mexico, you could see because it's a much more complex situation. It's a much more corrupt sort of government. It's much more lawless. It's controlled by, narco traffickers. It's just a completely, you could see the nuance there. But the bottom line is, this is going to shut down like the automotive industry to a large part, supply chains. This is not going to be anything long lasting. This is, I think this is mostly theater in terms of Canada. Now, China, a trade war with China, it does not benefit us. I'm not like, people are like, oh, you're just out in California. You're just a big, trans gay fat guy bumping around. You hate Trump and, all that. I'm like, I'm probably much more conservative than a lot of you guys in many, many ways. But, trade wars are not good. Like, so far, this administration been great for me. A lot of my stocks went up. My taxes will go down, but I'm relative to most other people. I'm very, very well off. I mean, I'm not any like wealthy, powerful, oligarch or anything, but these things are not going to hurt me. These tariffs on like consumer goods, these hurt farmers, these hurt manufacturers, these hurt, people at the low and mid-level. These hurt people who can't afford to buy gas, people who can't afford to buy food. It's like the populist narrative just completely falls apart with a trade war, particularly when, the ostensible reason is sort of controlling the borders. And I don't really think that's you can control the border, shut down the border, drug interdiction, human smuggling. It's not really related to tariffs. Like human smugglers and fentanyl smugglers are not paying tariffs on those things. It's just, I don't know. It's like, to me, it's just so convoluted. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's me. But, things are going to happen. Nobody elected me to do anything. That's for sure. Thank goodness for that. Because I am far too sensible and pragmatic and intelligent and absolutely uncorruptible. Because I don't care about stuff. Fancy clothes don't fit fat guys. I'm quite happy with a pizza. But anyway, it is what it is. So I guess we're going to, impose these big tariffs on Canada. Canada, who's like one of our largest trading partners, provides 25% of our oil, partner in our air defense, stormed the beaches with us in World War II, was there for us every step of the way, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, gone into almost everything, we've asked them to go into. Probably, one of our strongest and best allies in the entire world. And like all of a sudden, our foreign policy is to like threaten and mock Canada. Why? Because they don't agree ideologically with every single, point in policy. It's like, okay, secure the border. Don't let them. They're like, okay, we can do that. But why start a trade war with Canada? It's again, for me, it doesn't make any sense. Correct. And it's going to be very bad, for the markets because, consumers, a lot of this stuff is going to cause inflation to pick back up. Prices will pick back up. The country you're imposing the tariff on does not pay the tariff. I don't even think like most, MAGA folk really have a great understanding of like the macroeconomy, geopolitics, how tariffs work. I think a lot of them think tariffs are being imposed and being paid by those countries. They're actually being paid by, the U.S. consumer, the lower middle class, working poor. These people got hurt last time. I mean, farmers, this thing with China, the soybeans rotted. It's just bad for everybody, in my opinion. Yes, you have to make fair trade. I don't like being taken advantage of either. I mean, the United States, and that's a really fair point. We pay more than our share for the collective security. This whole thing with like Greenland and stuff. I mean, if we're going to pay for something and be responsible for its defense, I think we should have more say over how things go. It's not to say I want to threaten Denmark or I want to threaten to go to war with Panama. There's a way to make a point that's not maybe quite so, heavy-handed and imperialist sounding, and say we want to be treated fairly based upon what we're putting in to the thing. We're always putting in more than we're getting out, but we want to have control over the world. So sometimes with influence, you have to pay for influence. But it's just foreign policy. This is what I studied: foreign policy, economics, geopolitics. I watch these things quite closely. I study, politics overseas as well as here, different things. And I don't know. I just can't wrap my head around a trade war with Canada right now. We're talking about trying to hold off these Chinese EVs from, destroying our automotive industry. We're talking about our manufacturing industries in big trouble. Very, very hard to compete. And what's the answer? It's trade war with Canada. Does anybody get that? Anyway, sorry guys, I don't mean to go on so much about these. Let's talk a little bit about SMCI, but that's really all I wanted to let you know is they just bought all the shares off this crash. It was completely fake. I think it was all coordinated between, Hindenburg and, some of these guys the bald carnival barker on TV. And I mean, I think he's giving his honest opinion, but I'm just saying, I think it's all a setup. I think how this is amplified is all a setup. I think the timing is all a setup. I think these institutions want to buy up all the shares at the lowest possible price and then pump the stock back up probably over 100, when as many retail investors as possible are standing on the sidelines, scratching their head, wondering, did anybody get the license plate of that truck that just ran me over? No, nobody got the license plate. I think it was Black Rock. No. So, again, this is where all the volume is. Look at the volumes here. I mean, the last one is the last tick before this is 35 million. Then it goes to 236 million. And it just stays quite high. And off the bottom, 198 million, 235 million. I mean, the volume stays above 100 million for days on end during this pump. Take it for what you will, guys. Take it for what you will. I don't know. Does this look like a stock and the price action reflects that too? The whole time, they're telling you that the stock is crashing. The stock is being held basically between 30 and 34. And I think they're controlling the price down to the tick. Why are they borrowing so many shares? If you kind of start to add things up, 9.5 plus 4 pennies, it starts to make sense. If they own, 50+% of the shares are owned by institutions, another 15%-ish owned by insiders, that's 65%. Well, where are the rest of the shares? There's another, 30% of the shares are on loan. That's basically all the shares. When this thing pumps, what's going to happen? There's going to be almost no shares to go around, and everybody's going to want those shares. I think they're setting up a massive pump and dump here. They're going to pump the stock. All of a sudden, all these people who hate the stock are going to instantly love the stock. They're going to suck you in at the top and dump this thing on your head again. And by you, I mean retarders, the collective you, the royal we. Anyway, guys, I don't really know what I'm talking about, as you guys know, if you're a regular viewer here of Un Poco Mas. Oh, my God, my shiny hairline is terrible. Guys, I'm going to go get a bottle of water. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Coffee talk. No big whoop. It's coffee. We'll talk. I'll be right back. Well, welcome and hello back to me and my ridiculous hairline, this bouffant hairstyle. Oh, it's got one of them big bullum heads. I seen them laughing and loving. Anyway, guys, the stock market is brutal, Billy Jack. That's life's, Christmas for me, the steel toe boot to the face and a TV dinner. But anyway, guys, average around 30. That's not bad at all. What's up, Lorraine? First day in a long time. How are you, Lorraine, our good friend? I hope everything's well. It is a roller coaster, forever forgiven. You're certainly right about that. Yeah, our Dizzle 38. Yeah, 38's a tough average on this fall, but I mean, if you were in it before, it's not too bad. But yeah, you kind of have to get in low on this stuff, guys. I mean, if you saw it go from 18 to 40, you kind of missed it because it already doubled. But I don't know. I mean, these multiples like don't make any sense to me. If you look at the actual growth, you look at the actual profit, and then some of these articles are talking a lot about, how they're desperately trying to raise cash and nobody will lend them any money. But I mean, they have plenty of cash on the balance sheet. Like, it's not like they desperately, need money right now. Cash and, they have they have a fair amount of debt, like $2 billion. They have well over $1 billion worth of cash. So I don't know. This just doesn't make a lot of sense to me in terms of, why are they so desperate to raise money when they're going to have to take it at horrible terms or go private or sell to one of these little hedge funds? They try to create this narrative that this company is in this desperate financial situation, that they're shrinking. And when you look at the actual numbers, the opposite is true. And I went through again because I was very curious what's actually in the Hindenburg report. What are they actually alleging? Even if everything in that report is true, I don't think it has much material effect on the company today anyway. That's what I mean by the fugazi, the timing. It's rehashing old lawsuits by whistleblowers. Like, we interviewed so many insiders of the company. Their accounting practices they don't allege the revenues are fake. They allege the revenues were improperly, recorded in the wrong period. They allege basically that they're selling to companies controlled by the executives' relatives, and they're not disclosing those relationships. They're not saying the transactions are fake, fraudulent. They're saying, okay, they sell parts to one brother's company who assembles it and sells it back to this company. Could be accounting, but at the end of the day, the money has to be there. This is not an uncommon thing in Asia, particularly to have, one very successful sibling sort of set up other siblings, like more so than America, because the parents tell them what they got to do. It's not in America where they hate it. It's like a, Reese Witherspoon, Will Ferrell, Amazon chick flick wedding movie scenario. That's not what we're talking about. I'm just wondering, what are they seeing? What are they seeing in this? Where are they seeing the fall off in demand for NVIDIA? DeepSeek hasn't changed the world yet. Maybe in 10 years or so, they're going to democratize AI. It's all going to be free, but that's not how the world works right now. The only thing free is like once a year, they give you a Taco Bell or something, like National Taco Day. Hey, everybody, you want to line up for 4 hours to get a free glazed donut? What's your time worth? What's your time worth to you, you useless piece of shit? You poop on, Groupon, bottom feeding, BOGO, no-go, no-show, useless pustule. Oh, how you guys doing? Good to see you. Welcome and hello. It's your little ray of sunshine, Danny Deals, here for a little bit of Un Poco Mas. God, not a lurkers here. Now I got my team. I got my team on side. Oh, takes a man with a receding hairline to know a good bald moderator when he sees one. Good thing about a nice bald moderator, you get a nice window into their soul. It's not like all these hairstyles. You look them right in the eye, you know what you're getting. Getting the best wrench in the business with Not a Lurker. I don't know if he's that good. He's only going against Birdie and that fictitious nephew of his. Compared to them, he's pretty good. Less hair, less goatee. Oh, looks like a baby seal. Anyway, no, the great Not a Lurker, the great J Money. I don't know if the great Alberto Bertie Avila is here. I know the great Forever Forgiven is here. The great R Dizzle. Announcement of the partnership with Tesla signaled me they are good on the books. Danny, hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello. Stephen the Mountains. Stephen the Mountains, I believe, is at a Cheesecake Factory. I think he's having those avocado egg rolls. Perhaps their delicious shrimp pasta. You guys taking a look at some of that dietary information at the Cheesecake? I'm not even going to get into the Cheesecake Factory. Give me that like creamy shrimp gramelli pasta. It's like 2,800 calories. Do they know I'm fat? Come on. It's like one slice of that Oreo double Butterfinger Fat Guy triple layer dream cheesecake they sell, the old Danny Deals special for my birthday month. And ladies, how long can your goddamn birthday go on? You guys don't even like your birthdays. You know, now it's like a birthday season. Hey, my birthday was in June, but we're just going to do something for Christmas too. Like Christmas with your birthday? Like, yeah, it's my birthday year. Every year is your birthday year, honey. I know. Never stops. What are you getting me? What am I getting you for your birthday Christmas? What? ¿Qué? ¿Qué pasa eso? No entiendas. No me dejas. Ayúdame, ayúdame, a biblioteca. And now the severe beating of a high school bus driver. Hey, welcome to the bus. Some of Adam Sandler's weirdest bits. Nice new backpack, Jimmy. Welcome. Jill, hello. How was your summer? Welcome. I don't recognize you, son. Can I see your bus pass? Like, wait, he just proceeds to like beat the bus driver mercilessly for no particular reason. That a similar bit with the high school janitor. If you haven't heard the Adam Sandler comedy album, They're All Gonna Laugh at You. Oh my God. Oh boy. What comedy? Who are the ad wizards who came up with this one? Guys, the things I think of. Billy Jack definitely makes his own gator jerky. Billy Jack make you into gator jerky. Make a nice belt. Makes a nice belt out of folks from the north. No, I'm sorry. Billy Jack doesn't actually murder people. He's a good down-home guy. I do all my eating at home while mostly sodium. Yeah, no, Billy Jack, I got to get it under control, man. My diet. The problem is I like chicken strips. I'm a fan of a nice steak sandwich. I like tater tots. Huge fan of fajitas. Mini chimichangas. What else do I like? Grinders. Hoagies. Hoagies and grinders. Hoagies and grinders. Navy bean, navy bean. I believe that was a song, an ode to the lunch lady. Such a weird record. Oh my God. So stupid. I'm so stupid. We got a 9-pound taco in the house. I like the stairs. I love the stairs. What was that? Oh my God. Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah, he keeps him in his pocket. That bit they kind of stole from like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think, when they had the gummy bears and everybody had them in there all day. And then what happened to that Edward Rooney guy? He got some weird stuff happening there at the end. I don't know. I bet Billy Jack can cook. I can cook too, Billy Jack. That's probably one of the best qualities in a man. Let's see, guys. We got who else is here? Anybody of consequence? Anybody worth talking to? Probably not. But anyway, guys, that's all I'm saying is look at what they're saying and then look at what they're doing. And then why are they buying all the shares? I'll tell you why they're buying all the shares. Because the trend in earnings, the trend in revenue is just, guys, look at this. 2022 revenues, 5 billion, 2023, 7 billion, 2024 doubles to 15 billion. And this is audited by Ernst & Young. Do you think, I mean, there's like on a big company like this, they say there's somewhere, and I don't know this for sure, but they say usually there's like 6 to 15 auditors working on each account, and they'll bring in some. Quarterly reports are not necessarily fully audited. They're like checked. It's not like a deep audit, and then the yearly is like fully audited. So that's the problem. I think that's maybe where they're dug in a little bit deeper, because Ernst & Young had only been on board, I think, for, like 6 or 7 quarters. So I don't even know if they'd done a yearly. This might have been their first yearly when they resigned. It might have been their second. But, Wall Street talks, people talk, auditors talk, companies talk. It's a leaky ship, guys. You think nobody on Wall Street, nobody at these companies, these hedge funds who know everybody, who pay for information. I mean, that's what these guys do. It's all a fugazi. It's all fixed. It's all illegal. It's all bullshit. That's what these hedge fund guys do. That bald turd who owns the Mets. I mean, there's a documentary about how these guys cheat and use insider information. That's what they do. Don't you guys get it? Follow the money. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to these analysts. Don't listen to Kramer. He's the worst stock picker in the world. I mean, not literally, but I'm just, that's puffery, guys. Don't sue me, Kramer. Not even for the charitable trust. Everything's for the charitable trust. What a great guy you are. My charitable trust got about 2 cents in it. Fuck you guys. These billionaires, like, just doing so much for humanity. Building rockets because they have tiny wieners. They all got to build rockets shaped like penises. Everything's phallic with these guys. Just go around like, oh no, these young, beautiful women love me because I'm, so handsome and smart. They love my business ideas. It's not the money. It's not the super yacht. It's not the power. I mean, I don't, if you want to, whatever, you're a womanizer. You want to bounce from woman to woman. It's none of my business. But it's like, don't be delusional. I mean, there's a reason you guys all have these rocket companies. This is me. No, there's a reason I need a big lifted pickup truck. This is me. No, it's not anything like that, guys. Nobody's overcompensating for anything. This rocket is called. No, it's just like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. Why do they all have to build rockets? It's like they all want to go to space. They're all children. I mean, I guess they're lucrative contracts, but it just seems like the guys are just bored. I don't know, guys. I'm bored too. I'm bored and I'm boring. It's not fun and it's not funny when you're at a thing like this. Hey, Billy, is there going to be Mr. Saturday Night 2? He's like, Stuttering John, Howard Stern fan. Oh my God, terrible. Billy Jack following doctor's orders. I wish I could do that. Doctor's orders. Not a lurker. The great not a lurker. 9-pound taco. Still like these are the old comments. No steak sandwich. Quesadillas. Oh, I love quesadillas. Not a lurker. How'd you know that? You know my workout plan. Fat man workout plan. 5 sets of preacher curls. Chicken quesadilla. Chicken fingers. Maybe nice iced tea. Wash it down. Billionaires don't do shit. Greed runs the world. Hey, what else is new, man? It always has. It's mad. Don't tell your friends about Danny deals. Your friends have enough on their hands without me running around inside their head. Elon, forever forgiven. I don't think Elon's going to be mining anything on Mars in his lifetime. I don't think people realize quite how hard that is. There's plenty of lithium in the world. You just got to find it. I don't know. And by the time he mines any lithium on Mars, it's going to be 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whatever it is. They won't even need lithium anymore. They'll be getting all the power from the sun or from the tides or from my receding hairline, that type of motion. They'll be harnessing the electricity of Un Poco Mas Weekend Edition. Yes, man. Everyone is super hyped about the flying cars. Yeah, I mean, I know XPEV is building flying cars, and it's very possible to build flying cars. I mean, it's basically just a big drone. The cost will probably be about $100,000. I mean, but how practical is it? How, what is the maintenance going to be like? What is the licensure going to be like? What's the insurance? If it costs a lot to insure a Hellcat, think about some, moron dropping his drone down on a bunch of people. Think about the insurance there. Think about the liability. How's the FAA going to handle all this stuff? I mean, you don't know. In a country like China, stuff works a lot different. And that's where they're really aggressively pushing this stuff out. It's also where they're aggressively pushing out like robo-taxi, autonomy, AI. I mean, the Chinese I think that's why the tariffs are going. It's just scared as shit because the Chinese have hundreds of these universities. Are pushing out engineers. They're pushing out weapons. Who is it? Les Nazarov, who sounded the alarm on doomsday super weapons many, many years ago. Russian dissident. Anyway, if you guys don't read these insane, foreign policy, conspiracy theory papers and stuff, you probably wouldn't know who that is. Neither would I. Anyway, this show's terrible, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. But just like I said, the financials don't reflect the reality of what they're saying. I think it's a complete scam. The whole time they're telling you the stock is crashing to get out. They're buying all the shares. It's just fact. Because they can lie to you right to your face, but then, the 31st of January, they have to file. They have no choice, right? I hate it when I say right, like a fucking Canadian youturd, the finturd mafia. D.A. Davidson Company. D.A. Davidson says H.C. Wainwright's a no good, lily-livered, son of a bitch, and he ain't going to recover. I've always imagined in my head when I see those two names, like D.A. Davidson and H.C. Wainwright. I always used to write these like auto headlines. H.C. Wainwright says the stock is cabbage and won't recover. D.A. Davidson says H.C. Wainwright's a no good son of a bitch. Stuff that goes on in my head is just absolutely ridiculous. But Truist, buying a nice position. You see, these are well-known people. I mean, J.W. Cole advisor. That guy's a great rapper. J. Cole. I didn't know he had a hedge fund. But Fenendia advisor, Bogart. Past the Bogart to the left-hand side. Asset Management One. I mean, these turds are coming in with hundreds. Don't ask me why all these filings are at the exact same level. I've tried to figure that out. Rumblind Advisors, just buying a quick, million shares. Some of these are split adjusted. Some of them aren't. Invesco QQQ. See, these are the split ones. So you got to be careful here. I don't want to say that all these numbers are completely correct, but everybody's been going by this for a while. You see, institutional ownership was basically completely flat. It stepped up, basically been completely flat 2020 all the way through, early part of 2024, middle 2024, when this stock just completely pumped. They started selling it off at the top, as you'd expect on a pump and dump. It's exactly what it is. And these filings right here for this is the filing for Q3, which is filed at the end of October, obviously beginning of Q4. This is when they're selling back here, Q3, right up here. So they're dumping, and then they just buy it all back at the bottom while telling you the stock's going bankrupt because of these accounting irregularities. And you notice the unanimity. Spaghetti. You notice the unanimity in the analysts, these guys. I mean, the price target they've got this thing down to is just ridiculous. I mean, it's like the market cap is damn near last year's sales. And you think for a company, they have to be declining sales, EPS shrinking, drowning in debt, about to go bankrupt. They get these type of multiples. And then you see the exact opposite is true. And you realize it's all a giant scam. Market makers are scamming retail to pump the stock. They're borrowing all the shares. They control the whole float. They're loaning themselves the shares at negative borrow rates. Why? To control the stock price, to buy all the shares as low as they can, to get you to dump, to get you to keep buying short-dated calls when they know they're not going to pump the stock right then, because they probably know when these things are going to come out already. I mean, you think the stock market doesn't run on insider info? Just watch the documentaries on how these hedge fund works. Meet the Mets. Go ahead and meet the Mets. I mean, I don't know how these guys aren't in prison. I'm not a lawyer. I guess it's the law. Or they're too wealthy to fail. They're too bald to fail. They're too sociopathic to fail. I mean, you just can't put hedge fund guys in prison. I guess it's like Fat Indian in prison. Bernie Madoff you put in prison. I guess if it's egregious enough or people are outraged enough, or you steal money from Kevin Bacon. Never steal from Kevin Bacon. It's not enough egregious. Have you seen Vic from what was that movie? Whitewater Summer? Don't fuck with Kevin Bacon. It's fucking crazy. He'll valet you out over a ravine and just fucking leave you there. That little guy from Rudy. Neil Patrick, Shawn Michaels, Sean John. I don't know what the fuck the guy's name is. Rudy was a great movie, though. The guy's a good actor, actually. He's a really good actor. I think he was in Goonies. Who am I thinking of? Can you guys figure out, can anybody with proper qualifications diagnose at least partially what's wrong with me? Anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. At least one documentary. Jeez, I watched so many documentaries. I don't know. What was a good one I saw? There was a really good one I saw on like homelessness and drug addiction. It was, I forget. I have to get back to you on that. I don't read that many books these days. I'm so much like I'm reading everything on the internet, articles, magazines, financials. I just don't have time to get into like a lot of nonfiction. I just kind of work a lot and drop at the end of the day. But it's actually been a while since I've actually read a book. So that's a good thought. I should actually get my head off the screen and read a book. It's a good idea. Books are important, guys. They're still important. I know computers and phones have taken over everything, but I mean, I'm not saying necessarily a physical book. It could be on a, Kindle. Perhaps you have a Kindle. Perhaps you're a huge loser. You can only get a Kindle. But it's really good in the sunshine. It's super bright. Super bright. It's all I can read is this Kindle. It's dot matrix. Every letter is made up of like 12 dots. Little squares. Great. What is that, a Kindle? Yeah. Yeah, my email is at Yahoo. Oh my God. I love people with like super antiquated technology like me, and they just don't care. It's like, how do you still have that phone? I'm like, because it still works. And I don't care. Anyway, guys, some Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Those donuts are good. What's going on? I assume Clap My Dog is here. It's the Iceman about a hitman. The movie interviews on. Oh yeah, the hitman, all that stuff. Yeah, there's so many like true crime, all that stuff. I anything that's like interesting, anything compelling. I like. I really like the financial. Going back and explaining how these financial crises work. It's just very, very interesting. I'm looking at now some of the, pandemic stuff on how all those programs worked. And then, believe it or not, I spent like a lot of my time reading bankruptcy filings from Israel for GMDA. I'm just fascinated by how I fucked that up so bad and why everybody's so mad. I changed my mind at the end. It was like, here, the last video I made about that stock, I was like, I think I said like there's a 2/3 chance this goes wrong and it crashes to zero, and there's like a 1/3 chance we get the right deal. And everybody got so mad, they're like, well, you've been pumping the stock the whole time. Like, guys, I haven't been pumping the stock. I've been giving you my honest opinion. I like the stock. I own the stock. Now I'm getting new information because I'm a critical thinker. At least I like to consider myself a critical thinker. When I get new information, I reconsider things. I factor that new information into my calculus, into my equation, into my algo. So I was looking, I'm like, the patients aren't there. I'm trying to actually, keep tabs on the actual, transplant centers themselves and figure out, are they getting the patients that I think they should be getting at this point? And I'm doing my detective work and I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. So I'm thinking there's no revenues coming in to actually make a deal happen here. And I don't believe anything the CEO is saying. I don't believe this lady for a minute. And it turns out I was right. I mean, yeah, it took me a long time to get to the right answer, but it's a very important lesson. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to be wrong. Be embarrassed if you figure out you're wrong and you just can't admit it to yourself, or you can't admit it to others. Grow up. I get it wrong all the time. I mean, anybody who's honest, who picks a lot of stocks, a lot of investments, and says they get it right all the time, just assume they're lying. Assume they're lying, because they are. It's like, Bernie Madoff tried to promise people 20-point returns every year, whatever, 12-point returns. And then I hear some of these guys on YouTube. It's like, well, I get 100% returns, 200% returns because I use options. Guys, wealthy people know about options. There are no, foolproof 100% returns. I know people are going to go, well, you just sell options. You just do the wheel strategy. Usually speaking, you just cannot make 100% return safely, securely, consistently. It's not possible. If that investment was there and it was so easy, you don't think all the wealthy people know about it and would just consistently double their net worth every single year? There's not enough money to go around. It's just not possible. I keep telling you, if things sound impossible, they are impossible. But people are going to keep selling you this garbage. They're going to keep lying to you, telling you they're always right. YouTube's a magical place where people are never wrong. Everybody's thin. Nobody's bald. Nobody has their real name. Are you sure your name is Tom? No, I don't know what my name is. Fuck you guys. Like, and everybody wants your money. It's like George Carlin's bit on religion, you know? They all need money, money, money. Like why is God so concerned about money? He gets everything else right. He knows everything else. He's omniscient. He just can't handle money. He always needs more money. Dude, Benny Hinn, one of the greatest things ever was when my personal spiritual advisor, Benny Hinn, back in the day, guy, man in the white suit, he was asking for like more money. He's like, we only have a Gulfstream 3 airplane right now, which is not adequate. I need a Gulfstream 4. So he's like asking his followers for like $50 million worth of donations so he get a Gulfstream 4. Oh my God. So you're asking me to sell out my friend, leave him dead in the jungle, my friend of 10 years, all for a bunch of money and a G4 airplane? He's like, yeah. That's a G4. Yeah. Tug Speedman. Tugger nuts. I'm not a huge Tom Cruise fan usually, just because, for various reasons I won't go into here because I don't want to be murdered in my sleep. Not that anything, that could ever happen, but I just don't like to make powerful intergalactic enemies. But in any case, yeah, that Lex Grossman, it's just a great character. I'm dancing around with those giant hands. Anyway, guys, there's no point to this show. I assume everybody's turned this thing off, learn how to wheel, ask Mr. Poto. Yeah, no, wheel, it's great, not a lurker. It's great, but I'm just saying, don't consider it a failure if you don't make 100%. I mean, I remember back in the day, we used to be very, very thrilled if we could make 10% in a year. Now people are expecting like 200-300%. I don't know. I'm just trying to give people realistic expectations. You're going to get some right. You're going to get some wrong. That's the way it is. So if people are honest, they get things wrong sometimes. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm definitely 40 plus. Kidding me? His hairline screams 40 plus. Let's see. Have a great night. Forever forgiven. You too. I'm going to get the hell out of here myself. Let's go. Sub and like. Don't sub and like. What's wrong with you? What's the price to sell SMCI? I mean, okay. If you look at forward sales, if you don't think this company, if the growth rate is there when they do these filings, I think it's got to be worth at least 2x forward sales, 25 billion, 50 billion market cap. I don't know if it'll just jump up there because the market cap's so lit. This is the problem when something becomes so disconnected from the share price to the, fundamental value of the company. Because market makers do whatever they want to do. They push it down to nothing with all their friends in the media, analysts, YouTube. Then they buy all the shares, and then they'll all turn positive at once when the stock's too high. If you go back to like media reports, I guarantee when they were wanting to dump these shares on retail's head, everyone was positive back here. It was time. I guarantee the Hindenburg report was timed perfectly to inflict maximum pain on you and I, the returder, the hapless returder, the blind fish who doesn't know anything. If you don't recognize a mark in the first 5 minutes at the poker table, you are the mark. And retail, we don't run anything. Market makers run the show. And this is what market makers are doing with SMCI. You do you, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I want to thank the great Nautilurker. Jay Money would like to thank the equally great Alberto Berti Aviles and his equally fictitious made-up nephew who is absconded with my wrench. He's probably trying to change a tire somewhere as we speak. Would like to thank, of course, Mr. Premium of the Option, the great Premium of the Option, the great Dan Sisik, I don't know how you say that. Kalik, Sisik, Senor Sisig. Bookend tackles, take the win. Forever forgiven. Have a great night. Thank you guys. Peace. Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Danny. You see the new tariff coin? I haven't seen the new tariff coin. Yeah, these are hard truths I've been looking for. You don't want any hard truths. It's not a cucumber in my pocket, believe me. Anyway, guys, hope everybody has a great Saturday. I might make some more videos. I don't know. This one was completely stupid, but so are all my videos. Thank you, guys. It's Un Poco Mas. I really appreciate it. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great Saturday. Peace.